This is exactly why online education will take over. Because in 10 years, they won't ask where did you study, they will ask who did you study from. And this is just from my experience, from my thoughts and my own stories. So currently what we have is kind of insane. We have somebody who does something, works something, learns something new, and it's like groundbreaking, it changes something, it moves the world ahead, so he writes a book about it. And then comes somebody else who will read this book, learn what this guy did, and just learn everything he knows from the book, and then he can teach it to other people. So the information from this guy goes to this guy. And right now, as I was thinking about this, I realized like this is a ton of steps, and online education can help solve some of these steps. But before we get into that, let's think about information and why we need information. So right now we need information because the more time we spend on this earth, if we want to improve, if we want to become better, if we want to live a more quality life, we need more knowledge. Because imagine this, somebody spent his entire life to be able to create this part of an X. And then somebody else was like, okay, this is good, but I can improve it. And he spent all of his life thinking about what to do here. And then somebody else came in the picture and was like, okay, this is good. This is two-person lives, by the way, in just the example, but they spent all of their lives learning how to do this, so other people don't have to learn how to do this. They already know, they just have to improve it. So the third person comes in and he just improves it, makes it better. And now that he improved it, he spent his whole life on improving, the new person who comes in, who grows up, doesn't have to learn how to do this part, doesn't have to learn how to do this part. He just needs to learn how to make this better. Because we already experimented with this, we already experimented with this, he just needs to make it better. So let's say the world's knowledge is this amount. And this is what they have done in their lifetime, this is what they have been capable of doing and learning and experimenting and trying new stuff and doing more quality stuff. So now the new generation comes in and they don't have to spend 70 years on this, they just spend 5, 6, 10 years to learn it, and now they can go and have time for more upgrades. And now the new person who comes in has a harder job because he needs to learn all of this and needs to learn all of this while still leaving time in their own life to get more knowledge and do more stuff. And this is how we get information. We want to get information, we want to get up to date with the knowledge in the world as fast as possible so we can get more done in more time. And this is what information is for. It's just simply, if you get more information, you can do more stuff. You can change the world easier because you know more. You know all of this stuff that other people spend their entire life on and you don't even know their names, but they spent their entire life on this only for you to go to college and learn it in 4 years and then just build on top of that and try to explore and create more. So our objective goal is for education is to get people up to date. Because if somebody is born, the faster we can get them to this level, the more time he has to improve and make and get more knowledge for us and for the future generation. So now we understand why we need information, how we use information to push more scientific and not just scientific, in every field of life, push more results and get new innovations. The people who innovate can innovate because they have the base knowledge that was generated over the decades, the centuries. This is why we have like in every class like the first marketing tactic was invented in 1200 when this guy did this, and in 1200 and 2024 is like a long period of time, but you go ahead and learn it in one lesson what happened in there. Because you didn't have to try, you just got the information. Think about this. Somebody spent their whole life finding out how to build efficient houses. And he just tried this way, tried that way, and he tried 20 different ways. And you may learn about this, you may learn about like, oh, this guy just went ahead and spent 50 years trying 20 different ways to build a house, and he spent a lot of time on it, but you won't spend a lot of time on it. You don't have to try every 20 way. You may learn about he tried it, but the main thing that you will learn is this one is the best. And now you are ahead of this guy in like 10 seconds because he already did the work for you. You just know, okay, this is the best, okay, go on. Of course you learn why is it the best, but you don't learn why the other 19 weren't the best. Okay, so back to this. But right now, what we have here is you, like this is you. You want to learn the best way to build a house, for example. And this is the guy who went ahead and built 20 different house types and found the best one. And now he spent all his time on it, and now he wrote a book about it. The problem with all of this is that this guy can teach you a lot more about this than this guy. Because your teacher, for example. Because what your teacher did is he just read this book and learned about this guy, and if that given teacher, not just in school, in life, in whatever, if that given teacher is smart enough, he can take all of his knowledge and give you one good knowledge that you can use and get ahead, like we get in information. But this stands from a point that this person is good enough, and we are not sure of that. Of course, not everybody is a good teacher, but if you had a choice to learn from someone, would you rather learn from somebody who actually done it, or learn from somebody who looked at other people who have done it, learn from them and teach that? Now, from my own teaching and learning experience, you can't actually teach really well what you haven't done. For example, in video editing, let's say you want to teach other people how to edit videos without you knowing how to edit videos. So here's the timeline. So you, as a teacher who want to teach others video editing but don't know how, you may think the biggest problem is they don't know how to cut the footage. And if you don't do the editing yourself, you may not realize that this is not the biggest problem. You only know what is the biggest problem when you are actually editing. In editing, the biggest problem is not like creating the animation. It's not how do I create this animation. It's more about how do I think about to create this animation. It's not that I can't draw a circle, it's that I don't get the idea to here draw a circle. So as a teacher, you, an outsider, you only know what's problem based on what you see, but not based on your experience. And that's a big problem, because teaching is way more efficient if you actually in the game and you actually know what is up, and you can actually say like, hey, just fuck all that. Just do this and you will get better. So the most ideal way would be to get this guy who spent all of this time teach you. But I get what is the problem with that. Like, I'm not stupid. There is one guy who did the work, but there could be 2 million people who want to learn it. So this guy can go and teach you this, teach her this, teach him this, teach... Like, he can't go and teach you one by one. Now, if you think about this, it doesn't seem so silly to have more of these people and just get this and then get like this amount of distribution. This is more distribution and more people can learn because these people learn a lot about this guy and they can teach it to more amount of people, like the teachers. And this is not a bad thought, but now we have internet and things have changed. So I'm not even saying right now, but in 10 years, it will be much easier to learn from the world's best. Because they are the best at something, because they have done something that others didn't. So of course you want to learn from them. And this is where the media and online education comes into play. Because this person can go ahead, create video where he explains what he learned, and you can watch that video. And now the information went directly from this guy to you. You don't need a middleman. But I actually can't say that we don't need a middleman, but there is 2 types of middlemen. In the traditional sense, the middleman is the teacher who just learned from this guy and now is teaching you, but in this sense, the traditional way, he doesn't actually know the original guy. He didn't met him, he didn't talk to him, he just took his book, learned from it, and now is teaching it. But what the other middleman does and what media allows you to do with online education is to have some middlemen here, but they work as a complement to these videos, to these online course, and they are not the teachers themselves. So here's what I mean. In the original traditional sense, you get all your information from the teacher, all of the information. You don't get a bit information from him. Your teacher teaches you the information, and that's obviously the way it works. But with online media, what you can do is get this guy to record some videos, to get some footage, to get you the information. He himself gets you the information, and now you just use teachers to answer specific questions. If you don't understand something, answer it. If you don't know something, answer it. And what this does is very interesting, because remember when we talked about like, okay, teachers can learn from this guy and just teach more guys, so it's more distribution. We talked about this, right? But if we have online media, which is easier to use and easier to get information across faster, then 80% of the work of the teachers are now the work of the video. The video is giving the information. And now 20% of the work of the knowledge giving is for the teachers. So if you want to learn something, you will take 80% of the knowledge from the videos and 20% of the knowledge from the teachers. And that means that the teachers have to do less. They don't have to do this 100% them, because here it's 100%. They just have to do everything. But here it's 80% videos and 20% this. And this means that this guy can now go and teach even a lot more people, because he just has more time. He has to do less. He just has to answer questions. And now we can say that like this is the same, but there is like just a book instead of the video. And that's actually not a real bad like thought, but that's so slow in today's world. Reading a book is much harder learning experience than watching a video, like having an online course, online education. So there's another aspect I want to talk about. So currently this is you. Let's say this is you, and you don't know what you want to do. And a lot of people don't know what they want to do. And a lot of people go to university because they don't know what they want to do in life. So they just go to university on a random thing that they like interested in, but they don't actually know if they want to do it. And they go there, they get a ton of information, no action, just information. They get the information, they learn the information, they say the information. They haven't practiced the information yet. They just learn it, get it, and then they have to show that they learned it, but they haven't applied that to anything yet. And they do this for some time in some generic thing, and then they choose something more specific, which they again go and get information and prove that they know the information. Now, if you take a modern person who is like comfortable with online education and actually knows what he wants. He knows what he wants, I know. So he goes to an information source which is valid and good, like a good teacher, and now he learns the most applicable information for himself. He knows what he wants to do, so he just learns what is needed for that, and now he can go and apply it in real life. And this takes now 1 year. Like I have a client who I work with, and his cloud engineering course, which is a booming space in the world right now. Every company is looking for cloud engineers. Everybody needs cloud engineers. And he has a 12-week course teaching you from nothing to becoming a good cloud engineer and getting jobs. And he's getting results because he's focusing on teaching the information that is needed and taking action with the information. So when they get a job, they know exactly what to do. And it's a success. People are successful in it. People are getting 6-figure jobs from it. And it took them 12 weeks instead of the 3 to 5 to 10 years of university, whatever. It's just not even comparable to each other. But here, the number one problem is they don't know what to do. This is the problem. They don't know what they want to do in life. University gives you 5 years to realize, oh shit, I don't actually want to do this. But you have already wasted 5 years. So online education is easier because you can learn faster at home in more rushed way, or more rushed environment, or more safe environment, whatever makes you learn faster, but you realize faster that you don't want to do this. In 12 weeks you can realize that you don't want to do cloud engineering. Okay, the camera stopped working, so I don't actually know where I was, but the next big problem with the university stuff is that, let's say we have 2,000 people who actually know what they want to do, but that 2,000 people will probably have different journeys that they want to go through. And that means that the university can't give you a direct information like, hey, for you, this is the best information. Because there is 2,000 different people who want to do 2,000 different things. And that means that university is just unable to do that. And that's not the university's problem, it's just life. They can't do that. They can't teach 2,000 different courses. It's not possible. So what they have to do in this case is to create a course with a bunch of different things in it. And even though you only need this one because you want to do that, you have to learn this one and that one as well. And that's because somebody else can come in and he might be interested in this one the most, but he also has to learn these as well. And this is what universities can do. They can do a business major. You want to learn business? Go to business. And maybe in business you want to do marketing, or maybe you want to do sales, but it doesn't matter. You have to learn all of it because that's just how they can do it. How they can go, okay, learn this. You can't go on online marketing on YouTube. You can't learn about how to edit videos for Facebook ads, you can do that because a university would have to do 2,000 different of these things for 2,000 different students. So they have to do a course on how to create videos, and you learn about how to create videos for Facebook ads, you learn about how to create videos for Instagram Reels, you learn about how to create videos for your friends. It doesn't matter, you still have to learn all of this even though you only wanted to learn how to do Facebook ads. And in the online education space, this is different because we can have 2,000 people teaching the 2,000 different things. We can have people teaching how to edit Facebook ads. We can have people teaching how to run Facebook ads. We can have a ton of people who teaches a lot of people. We are not restricted to the town where we live in or the places we can go to study, because online is the whole world. You can learn from the whole anybody who can do that. And that means that you, as somebody who wants to learn how to run Facebook ads, can learn from somebody who actually knows how to run Facebook ads and can teach you how to run Facebook ads, so you learn much faster. And you don't have to learn how to run Pinterest ads next to it, you just learn how to run Facebook ads and that's it. And when you need to know how to run Pinterest ads, then you can go to the other guy. With this, I'm not saying that you only need to learn one thing, I'm saying that you know what you want to learn and you will learn just that. And then you know what you want to learn and you learn just that. It's more direct, it's more exactly what you need. So now the big question becomes for the next 10 years is how to validate the information. How we know that the information that you get from the course is valid. Because right now, a lot of people see money in the online education space. They only see money because they know people want to buy courses, they want to learn. For example, I make a lot of money on dropshipping, so I'm saying that online I make a lot of money on dropshipping, I will teach you how. But in the back end, you actually only make money from the courses, but with the money from the courses, you buy a lifestyle that shows that you make a lot of money with dropshipping, and this loophole is going on and on. You are getting money from the course because people buy it, and people buy it because they believe you make your money from e-commerce, and you don't make your money from e-commerce, you make your money from courses. But you use the money from the courses to get people to believe that you make money from dropshipping, and they buy your product. So that's what is happening sometimes right now. So the biggest question in the next 10 years, how can we validate that this information is valid for your knowledge? Because currently teachers have to go through like 4 years of university, do all of this stuff to actually be able to get to teach. But online is a wildfire, anybody can do that. And that's the power of it, but right now that's the biggest weakness of it, because you don't know if the information is valid. So this is why you only have to buy from guys you trust and from guys that have results. And this is why I said in the beginning, in 10 years, they won't ask, where did you study? They will ask, who did you study from?